Days of Our Lives and Rafe rekindle an old flame, but at what cost? Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Salem is about to be rocked once again by betrayal, heartbreak, and a scandal that may change the lives of its residents forever. This time, it's not a new villain terrorizing the town, but the return of a familiar, fiery connection between two of Salem's most complicated lovers, Sami and Rafe. For fans who have followed these two over the years, their tangled love story is about to erupt with more passion and drama than ever before, and the fallout will be devastating, especially for Jada, Rafe's current fiancée. Sami has returned to Salem under grim circumstances. Her ex-husband, EJ, has been placed in a medically induced coma following a shocking shooting, and their son, Johnny, is struggling to make sense of the chaos. Although Johnny attempts to reach his mother for support, Sami doesn't answer his calls. Instead, driven by a surge of emotions, she rushes back to Salem, determined not only to support her son but to confront the demons that await her there. Upon returning to town, Sami is hit with a bombshell. She catches her sister Belle in a compromising moment, openly confessing her love to EJ at his hospital bedside. The betrayal sends Sami into a rage. It's a line she never expected her sister to cross, especially after years of warning Belle to stay far away from EJ. Seeing her sister entangled in a relationship with the man who once broke her heart is more than she can bear, and it fuels the storm inside her. As if the revelation about Belle wasn't enough to shake her to the core, Sami soon finds herself face to face with another blast from her past, Rafe. The former couple shares a complex history filled with longing, misunderstandings, and regrets. But time and distance haven't dulled their chemistry. In fact, when Sami sees Rafe again, all the buried feelings rise to the surface. Rafe, too, is struggling. Not long ago, he was a victim of a sinister plot involving a doppelganger named Arnold, who masqueraded as him while EJ kept the real Rafe imprisoned. During that time, Arnold even tricked Sami into believing he was Rafe, manipulating her into an intimate relationship. That dark chapter has left scars on both of them. Yet, their shared trauma seems to draw them back together like magnets. Meanwhile, Rafe's current relationship is beginning to crumble. His fiancée, Jada, has found herself pulled toward Sean Brady, and their connection is becoming increasingly intense. What began as an emotional support system has grown into something physical, and Rafe is stunned when he learns about Jada's involvement with Sean. To him, it feels like a betrayal that mirrors the one Sami just experienced with Belle. In this fragile state, Rafe finds comfort in the one person who has always brought him both chaos and comfort, Sami. The two reconnect, initially under the guise of catching up. But the moment quickly escalates. Longing glances turn into tender touches. Old memories become whispered confessions. Before long, Sami finds herself in Rafe's bed, a moment of passion ignited by pain, confusion, and the undeniable pull they've never been able to resist. It's impulsive. It's dangerous. But for a fleeting moment, it feels like home. But Salem is a small town, and secrets don't stay buried for long. Their intimate reunion may soon come to light in the most unexpected way. Javi, Rafe's teenage son, reportedly witnessed something he shouldn't have, Sami and Rafe together. If Javi decides to tell Jada, it could blow everything wide open, and destroy what little trust remains between her and Rafe. For Jada, the heartbreak will cut deep. Not only has she been emotionally vulnerable due to her confusing bond with Sean, but she's also been trying to hold on to a relationship with Rafe that's become increasingly unstable. Learning that Rafe cheated, especially with someone like Sami, could push her over the edge. And rather than confront the betrayal, she may throw herself even more recklessly into the arms of Sean, creating a tangled web of relationships that threatens to unravel multiple lives. The situation leaves everyone involved with difficult choices. Will Sami and Rafe admit their mistake and try to move forward? Or will they rekindle something more serious, reigniting a love that never truly died? And what of Jada and Sean? Will their connection be built on love or simply the ruins of broken trust? And then there's Belle, whose betrayal of her sister may come back to haunt her in more ways than one. With EJ still unconscious, unable to speak for himself, she may find herself isolated, facing not only Sami's wrath but the judgment of those around her. In the days ahead, Days of Our Lives promises a storm of emotional fallout, unexpected alliances, and painful confrontations. The return of Sami to Salem may have begun as a mission to support her son and monitor EJ's recovery, but it has spiraled into a personal reckoning with the past, and the damage it leaves behind may be irreversible. Back to April 10's shocking episode, the storm between Alex and Sarah erupts as truths are laid bare in a moment that took viewers by surprise and shattered what little peace remained between them. Alex and Sarah's relationship hit a dramatic low point during the April 10th episode of Days of Our Lives. It began innocently enough. Sarah entered the living room expecting a quiet conversation. What she got instead was a whirlwind of rage, betrayal, and confessions that left her reeling and the audience in stunned silence. The tension in the room was immediate. Alex wasn't his usual composed self. His hands trembled slightly as he attempted to concentrate on a document sprawled across the table, his laptop open, but clearly forgotten. The weight of the Titan DiMera corporate merger was bearing down on him like a freight train, and Sarah walked right into the storm. "You won't believe what's happened," Alex said, voice sharp, without even looking up. "It's chaos now that Titan swallowed up DiMera. And guess who's running the show? That bastard Philip." Sarah blinked, stunned by the news. She hadn't expected it to happen so fast, nor for Alex's reaction to be so visceral. "Not one, but two companies," he snapped, standing up and pacing. "Philip now controls Titan and DiMera. Companies he has no right to touch, and yet here we are. And Xander's behind all of it." Sarah's lips parted, but she didn't speak. She could feel the rage radiating off Alex like heat from a fire. And then, before she could process another word, he turned and struck her. The slap wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. A line had been crossed. "Don't act surprised," he said coldly. "You knew Xander was manipulating Philip. He used Philip as a pawn to consolidate power, and now they're both drunk on it. They've lost all sense of balance. And you helped it happen." Sarah's hand went to her cheek, her eyes wide, not just from the pain, but from the avalanche of emotion pouring out of the man she once trusted. But she didn't retreat. She stood tall, despite the tremor in her voice. "I did what I had to do," she said. "I didn't tell the truth because I needed time. I needed them to get along. And now they do." Alex scoffed. "That's your excuse? You think just because the two of them are playing nice now that the ends justify the means? What about Stephanie? What about me? You think your lies haven't burned bridges we might never be able to rebuild?" Sarah took a breath. "You should be grateful I agreed to keep the deal in place. You didn't want this merger to fail either. If I had told the truth at the wrong moment, this whole thing would have fallen apart." But Alex wasn't moved. "I'm grateful," he repeated, his voice laced with disbelief. "You think I'm grateful? For you lying to my face? For turning a blind eye while Philip worms his way into power and Xander plays kingmaker?" "Focus on the big picture," Sarah said again, quieter this time, more desperate. "This isn't about you or me. It's about stabilizing what's left. The companies are thriving. Philip and Xander are, finally working together. That's why I didn't tell the truth. Because if I had, they would have gone back to tearing each other apart, and Titan would have gone with them." Alex stared at her, his chest heaving. "And what about us?" he asked. "Where do we fit into your big picture, Sarah?" She didn't answer. That silence was the last word of the conversation. Alex shook his head and turned away. Without another glance, he walked out of the room, his footsteps echoing in the tense stillness. The door slammed behind him. And only then, only when she was alone, did Sarah finally exhale. She sank into the nearest chair, the weight of her secrets and decisions pressing down hard. Her cheek still stung from his slap, but what hurt more was the knowledge that she might have finally gone too far. In her mind, she replayed every move, every choice she made to keep peace between Philip and Xander, to preserve Titan's future, to prevent a corporate implosion. But now, with Alex gone and her personal life in ruins, she had to wonder, was the cost too high? The fallout from this betrayal will undoubtedly send shockwaves through Salem in the days ahead. With Philip growing bolder, Xander increasingly calculating, and Alex pushed to his emotional breaking point, the storm is far from over. And as for Sarah? She may have made her choice, but the consequences of that choice are only just beginning to unfold. Stay tuned, because if this episode taught us anything, it's that lies don't stay buried for long, and love can't survive without trust.